Okay, the portal is going to be in the corner of the room. It's going to be a portal to Orgrimmar. You're going to take that, and that's going to get you into the next section of the raid. Now, this first section we did was kind of my least favorite. Doesn't really have a lot to do with Orgrimmar, but there's storytelling leading up to it, and that's fine. Once you get here, you're going to be on a boat. You're going to talk to the NPC with the speech bubble over his head, and they're going to open up another portal for you, not the one down here on the end. That takes you back to where you just were. They're going to open a new one here that is going to take you to the docks. Once you're on the docks, you need to clear a path for your forces to land so that we can actually begin the siege on Orgrimmar. To do that, you're going to have to clear these cannons from the beach. You need to clear 7. This is a pretty simple thing to do. You're going to go up to the cannons. They're all along the shoreline here. Clear out the NPCs that are in the way. And then once you've done that, you just right-click on these red spiky bombs here. That's going to activate them. They're going to go off with the timer, and that will blow up the cannon. And then we have 6 cannons left. So just go down the coast, finish off those cannons, and then make your way back to the docks. Okay, once you've taken out the cannons and made your way back to the dock, your faction ship is going to come in and it's going to spawn some enemy or some friendly NPCs right down here. So you'll see those pop in. Now, this, in my opinion, is the single most annoying and most difficult fight in this entire raid. So if you struggle with it, it's probably going to be frustrating, but just realize that after this boss, it just gets better. Now, because I do think this is the most annoying and difficult boss, and I don't want to have to explain as much while I'm fighting it, I'm going to go ahead and take some time now to explain what's going to happen. So our goal is to get Galakras here, who will put a skull over, to come down so that we can kill him. The boss here is Galakras, and all of the loot that they drop, this is just transmog stuff. So our goal is to shoot this dragon out of the sky using the cannons on top of these towers. Now, currently, the enemy forces control these towers, and we have to take them away from them. So what's going to happen is we've got our 2 little guys over here, goblins if you're Horde, gnome if you're Alliance. They're going to go up to this tower. This is the south tower, and they're going to start breaking into this door. Once they have broken into that door, you get to go up the tower, kill everything there, and now you have control of that cannon. They're going to do the same thing on the other side as well. Now, Blizzard has changed this so that you're supposed to be able to only shoot the dragon with 1 cannon instead of having to shoot it with both, which you used to have to do. But sometimes this thing will bug out, and you may have to end up shooting the dragon with both cannons, or you may have to shoot the dragon a bunch of times with 1 cannon. You're supposed to only have to go up, capture 1 tower, shoot Galakras twice in a row with a cannon, and then that will bring them down to the ground, and you can finish them off. So that might not sound too bad, but where it does get kind of bad is while all that's going on, little Horde guys, or enemies in this case, will run up and they'll attack your little guys that are trying to open the doors. If they attack, while they're attacking them, they stop working on the doors, so progress on that stops, and they can kill them, which will reset your progress. Also, while that's going on, forces will come down this road and they will attack your friendly forces here. You have 3 leaders that you're going to have health bars for, and you're going to need to make sure that they don't die. If one of those leaders dies, you lose the battle and you have to start over again. So the reason that I think this is the most annoying and one of the most difficult fights is because you have to balance killing the stuff that comes down the middle lane here versus killing the stuff that is attacking your guys trying to break into the door. Then you also have to get all the way up the tower, shoot the cannon while there's enemies coming down the lane. So it can get pretty hectic, and if you're a low mobility class, you may struggle with this. But all that said, we're going to go ahead, I'm going to kick it off, and provided that this is a pretty successful attempt, I'll leave it here. If not, I'm going to cut to one that is actually successful. To get everything started, you just talk to the person with the speech bubble over their head and accept the dialogue option to start the encounter. So, here we go. Take 1. Okay, so you can see we've got a bar up here. It says South Tower progress at 0%. What we want to do is we want to go ahead and engage with these forces here, take them down as fast as possible, which is going to be a lot easier if you're on a DPS specialization. Then we're going to want to move ourselves over to our little guys who are trying to take down the door, because they're going to be getting attacked by someone, and we need to get over there before that person kills them. So now they'll run up to the door. What I recommend you do is kind of stand here, and you're going to want to take a look at your forces here and protect these guys here. For most enemy waves that come, I recommend you wait and kill whoever's going to attack the goblins first, or the gnomes. Over here are the health bars of the leaders that you need to protect. So currently we're pretty full. These guys, they're just normal enemies, so I'm going to wait a second. I'm going to attack this guy, make sure that he doesn't kill my forces. Then I'm going to jump down here and get all these enemies off of my horde leaders. That way I can keep them alive. These shamans are incredibly annoying. You're going to want to interrupt their heals as much as possible. They have a tendency to stay alive, and then immediately get yourself back up to the top so that you can protect your door breakers again. So same thing, as long as your faction leaders have high health, then make sure that you can take down whoever's going to attack your door breakers first. Once they've broken the door, once they've hit 100%, then you're good. They're going to go work on the other tower, and hopefully you don't need to worry about that other tower. So here we have Kor'Kron the Snake. She's a tough enemy that we're going to want to make sure doesn't get a lot of opportunity to attack our faction leaders. So we're going to want to kill her as fast as possible and make sure that all of the attention from her is on us. Alright, so we got 100% on the south tower. So what we're going to want to do now is we're going to want to head up the tower as fast as possible, grab all of these enemies, because if they stay, then you don't actually capture the tower. So we want to reduce this Dragon Maw influence to 0%. There are going to be these demolishers that come up to assault the tower. When they hit the tower, they're going to stun you. Just like that. So that means that the siege engine has hit the tower. So once we've got a hold of this, we're going to want to go down. We're going to want to take care of these things and make sure that they are not attacking our faction leaders. Keep their health bars pretty high. Now, since they have pretty high health bars, we're going to go up the tower and we're going to use the cannon to attack the dragons. Now, you saw when I jumped off, I clicked on this little rope. That's because now we can take the rope straight up the tower, save ourselves a bunch of time. We're going to get into the cannon. You may need to go ahead and clear some of these proto-drakes out of the way. Just get those out of the way, and what you're trying to do here is shoot Galakras. And I honestly would just keep shooting it a few times. And like I said, this can bug out on you. I generally like to go ahead and just get rid of all the other dragons. That way I know that I only have Galakras as a target. Okay. We're going to hit him again. And there we go. It said Warlord Zayla is blasted off her mount. That's what we want. We go down. We can start taking on these enemies and make sure that our faction leaders stay alive. And once the boss comes down, we'll be able to finish up this fight. Now you can see that Sylvanas is down to like half health, so this can be kind of tricky. Alright, so Galakras is down. So we're going to want to grab aggro. And then this is purely tank and spank now. All we have to do is make sure that we finish off the boss, and we're good to go. Continue to make sure our faction leaders don't die. And there we are. The loot comes straight from the boss, and you're good to go. So like I said, that can be really frustrating trying to bounce between both of those positions and get up the tower and everything else. Remember to use the rope ladder. That's very important to your success here. And remember that you want to keep shooting Galakras until it tells you that the warlord falls off her mount. Okay, after this, we're going to be following this path to the west, and then we're going to cut down along this sort of dirt path here, come out around where it says Darkspear Offensive, and we're going to head up to the next boss, which is the Iron Juggernaut. Okay, so the next boss is the Iron Juggernaut, all transmog from this boss. However, take a good look at the model, because this is a mount that you can get from this raid, and we'll talk about that when we get to the boss that drops it. Basically, just tank and spank here, stay out of the stuff in the ground, and you're good to go. Alright, when the Iron Juggernaut's defeated, loot the corpse, and then we're going to head into Orgrimmar through the front gates here. Once you're through the gate, you're going to head straight into Grommash Hold for the next boss, which is the Kor'Kron Dark Shaman. These drop transmogs as well, and this is pretty much a straightforward tank and spank inside of the hold. You can do as much of the trash out here as you want. I tend to just skip it. I don't think the trash in this particular raid is worth bothering with. This fight can seem like it's going to get pretty crazy, but it's mainly just because they put a whole bunch of like dots and stuff on you. So just come in here, tank and spank them. I recommend that you kill the wolves first. I usually just do that because it's easier to see what the heck is going on if they're dead. Alright, so once the wolves are gone, just start working on the shaman, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Alright, when you're done with the shaman, loot the corpse, and we're going to head out of Grommash Hold and towards the next boss. There's a little bit you have to do before you get to the next boss. So we're going to head up here around the corner towards the drag, and once we get right around this area, there's going to be a little fight that you can't avoid. So we're going to take out the enemies there, and then we're going to head into the drag, or into the Cleft of Shadows. Okay, so this is the little fight I was telling you you can't avoid. You need to kill Overlord Runthak, and then go ahead and take out these Demolishers. There is an achievement you can get if right after this you go ahead and you free Gammon and you take him with you to fight. I'm not going to worry about that for the purposes of this guy, but just know that that's where he is if you want to get that achievement. So now we're going to head into the Cleft of Shadow. And from here, we're going to go into Ragefire Chasm, which is a horde low-level instance. You can go through, kill all this stuff, or you can just drop down here and head in this direction. Once we get into Ragefire Chasm, we're going to follow this path straight down to the next boss, General Nazgrim. Alright, so we're here. General Nazgrim is up at the front of this big group of enemies. Go ahead and throw a marker on him. There he is. You don't need to worry about the stuff in this room. Most of it is just going to pull to you when you attack Nazgrim, and you can just kill it with your AoE abilities. As far as loot drops, he's another all-transmog boss as well. So this is pretty much just a tank and spank, so just go in there, take him on, take him down, and we'll move on to the next boss. Alright, once you defeated the general, you loot the corpse, and we're going to head in even deeper into the area under Orgrimmar. There is an elevator here, so don't just fall into the hole unless you have a way to make sure that you're not going to die at the bottom. Wait for the elevator.